Hey guys, Matthew here, and today I just want to give you guys a quick showcase of what it looks like to level as Ball Lightning. Now, I'm well aware that Ball Lightning is going to be nerfed by about 30-ish%. Now, we're not taking advantage of a massive amount of ticks because we are not using adjacent animosity. We don't have any amount of area of effect on the tree either. So we are just bare bones, minimal amount of ticks, minimal amount of damage. Just this is basically what it looks like. Post nerf, you can expect the damage to lose, or you can expect about 30% or 20%, actually, I should say, since we're not maximizing amount of ticks. So you can expect about 20-ish% less damage than what you're about to see. So this character is basically from my current Atlas practice run or League Start Simulation. I've played on this character for about 8 hours, and the total investment on this character in terms of both the gear, the skill tree, etc., is a grand total of about 40 chaos, including the 5 link and literally everything else. So this build so far cost me 40C. So this is what you can expect the build to do. Now, I would not recommend, while I am going to showcase the build running this T14 alleyways here, this is not the kind of content that this build is supposed to run. So if it looks like it's struggling a little bit, which it might, I don't really know. It really depends on the mods on the map. That is not because the build is bad. It's really just because you're not supposed to be running T14 maps at level 82 on such garbage gear. Most of this gear doesn't even have life on it. It's purely based for early game chaos recipe because, as I said, I was simulating my league start, and I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like to level on Ball Lightning. So this is more like limit testing, what we're going to do here on this T14. After that, I'll show you guys what the actual content that you should be doing on this build is, which is about, at this point in the league, if we were on day 1, which would be corrupted T6 maps. So again, consider the fact that we are losing about 20 to 30%, depends on a lot of things like placement of your Ball Lightning, etc., but we're losing about 20 to 30% damage. So take this with a grain of salt. When you do see the upcoming damage, it's not going to be this good. Obviously, again, not the kind of content you should be running at level 82 with this kind of investment on this kind of gear. This is more limit testing. I just want to show you guys what kind of is possible on Ball Lightning Totems. Now, I've been playing this for, like I said, about 8 hours. I level with Ball Lightning Totems, and I will be transitioning into Glacial Cascade Totem. And tomorrow, after we reach level, around 90, I'll be doing a video on Glacial Cascade, how that feels, the investment required to make that, which is going to be about twice as much as this. So instead of 40 chaos invested, it'll be around 80 chaos invested. We're still going to be using a 5 link, of course. We're still going to be using most of the items in the build. We're probably going to switch out from the chaos recipe gear though. Obviously, we're going to be wanting to stack as much life as possible to be as tanky as possible. And we are going to be using, we're also going to be using better wands, which are going to be made for Glacial Cascade, which means +1 cold as well as, spell damage and crafted cast speed. That is basically the best possible wands for Glacial Cascade Totems. I explained in the actual build video where I showcased the POB and all that, how to actually craft those wands extremely easily. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested in knowing how to make yourself some basically end game wands for as cheap as 10 chaos each or so, 10 to 20 chaos, go ahead and check out that video if that is something that interests you. The idea here is that I really just wanted to get to the boss to showcase like what kind of single target damage you can expect. So this is a T12 map. We are level 80. We do have a level 18 Ball Lightning and some level 18 supporter gem. Actually, our lightning penetration is even level 17. So clear to assume that even if the boss took, let's say, 30% more time to kill because we were losing 30% damage, it would be dying within seconds. Let's go ahead and do this metamorph here. Metamorphs are known to be extremely tanky. As you can see, it is. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty tanky. but it's going down fairly reliably. Our agnostic and MOM keystone combination is keeping us fairly healthy. And again, not the best single target in the world. And if you can expect, or try to imagine about 30% less, and that is what you can expect your league start to be when you actually make this build. Now, after thinking about that and being fairly disappointed, go ahead and consider the fact that you've only spent about 30-40 chaos. You're very, very tanky, and all of a sudden, it starts to look quite a bit better. Now, again, I was doing some content which I would consider to be, way over what you should really be doing. So let's go ahead and show you guys really quickly the kind of map that you should be running around level 82 with this kind of investment, which would be around that point, you should be around yellow maps in your atlas. And for me, every time I get to yellow maps, I will corrupt them. I chisel my red maps, I chisel and corrupt to my red maps, but I only corrupt my maps T6 and above. And I alk and go my maps T4 and above, and T1 to T3, I typically just use transmutes. So this is what the build looks like when doing content it's supposed to be doing. And as I'm sure you can see right now, it's both ridiculously tanky in a sense that I can pretty much just face tank everything and just walk through packs like they're not even there. And let me just showcase the single target damage. Also, I think it's fair to note that the clear speed is actually pretty damn good. If I had to rate this clear speed, I would say it's actually better than my my Ball Lightning Miner from last league. So I'm very happy with how this build is turning out so far. And the single target looks something like this, which is, even if you remove 30% of this damage, well, you're still one-shotting the boss. And you will keep one-shotting bosses so long as you keep your gear in check, and obviously your gem levels in check. Having level 18 gems is not exactly ideal to clear red maps, but when it comes to clearing, T6, T7s, T8s, or whatever, it is basically a joke. So that's pretty much it for the showcase of the build. If you've been wondering if you wanted to go, BL Mines or BL Totems or maybe another build, this is what the build that I came up looks like when it comes to clearing maps, with very, very minimal investment. And now it's up to you guys to decide if that is something that looks interesting or not. If it does, you can check out my other video for the POB information, the leveling information, and tomorrow I'll have a video about the end game for when we transition over to Glacial Cascade around level 90. On that note, as always, I want to say a huge thank you to my supporters: Mario, Luro420, Gaikona, Kfish, Dr. Radu, Scott, Zarashi, Kevin, Cassicus, Matus, and Dieselboy. Big thank you to you guys, as well as everybody else who supports me through different platforms, and of course, anybody else who wishes to remain anonymous. I love you guys, and hopefully this video helps you guys make up your mind if this is a build that seems interesting or not to you guys. Peace.